We're going to start in Deuteronomy chapter 2, verse 14. And the space in which we came from Kadesh Barnea until we were come over the brook Zered was 38 years, until all the generations of the men of war were wasted out from among the host, as the Lord sware unto them. 38 years is mentioned here. So it mentioning 38 years means that 2 of those years have been served. Bear with me here. The genealogy in Matthew takes us to 70. 70 generations. We know that the temple was destroyed in 70 A.D. None of these things are coincidental. We know that the Israelites wandered in the wilderness for 40 years and that Jesus lived 33 years. 40 minus 33 is 7. We also know for a fact that Jesus died in the year 32 AD. We know for a fact that the temple was destroyed in 70 AD. So if we take the 38 years that's mentioned in Deuteronomy 2:14 and add that to 32 AD, which we know is when Jesus died, it comes up to 70. 70 AD is when the temple was destroyed, and 70 is the genealogy in Matthew. Me and my giant were in discussion last night, and both of us flipped out when he shared this with me. And I know people are going to make their comments, but I really don't care. It's been in front of our face this whole entire time. And we've always missed it. We've always been trying to calculate the numbers in our heads and not realize that it was here the whole freaking time. And confirmation came for both of us last night when he shared this with me. Not 6 minutes later, he got on TikTok and he shared a message from another lady that had just confirmed what him and I were just discussing. Daniel 9:26. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off. (32 AD. 3 and 2, 32. I know people are going to argue this. Well, that's 62 weeks. That's 62 years. That's not speaking, but it is. This was the confirmation that I received. 32 AD. And this is what the internet had to say. The term 62 weeks represents 434 years, not a single year like 32 AD. The prophecy is about a total of 490 years, not a specific year in history, while many interpret the prophecy as pointing to Jesus' death around 32 AD. And then it goes on to explain the rest. I then did a little bit of research, just a very little amount. And this is what I discovered. 62 weeks. The second period was 62 weeks. 62 times 7, which is 434 years. And after 62 weeks shall Messiah be cut off, but not for himself. Verse 26 of Daniel 9. So from the completion of the rebuilding of Jerusalem under Ezra, Nehemiah, and until Messiah being cut off would be 434 years. When we add the 49 years in the first part of the prophecy, to these 434 years in the second part of the prophecy, we come up to the 483 years. After this time slot, Messiah will be cut off or killed. His blood would be shed. When calculated according to the Jewish years, this brings us to 32 AD. This was when Jesus made his last journey into Jerusalem for the Passover, which led to his crucifixion. Again, in Deuteronomy 2:14, it was essentially saying that 2 years of the 38 years had been served. Why is that mentioned in Scripture? Because it wants us to continue reading and to continue searching it out. And when we come to the bride's gospel, we see 77 genealogy, or 77 years. Israel is now 77. And Tishri, which usually begins in September, is the 7th month. So Hebrews chapter 4 is still in play. 7, 7, 7. 77 for the year of completion in Israel, for the genealogy in Luke, and the 7th day of rest, which is when we go home, the rapture of the church. And guys, I'm not the greatest at math, but 77 minus 7 takes us to 70, which is the genealogy again mentioned in Matthew. We've completed our 7th year, or our 7 years, because we came back with good news. I'm not good at math. But this just makes perfect sense. Let's close with Genesis chapter 8, as in the days of Noah. Genesis 8, verse 4, and the ark rested in the 7th month on the 17th day of the month. 777.